be completely quiet. Okay, there's my audience. Okay. All right. All of you know me. I'm Aubrey. I'm a student at UW Superior, and today I'm going to do an informative speech about the correlation between watching too much TV and childhood obesity. At the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation Legislative Congress on September 5th, 2010, Michelle Obama stated, "Childhood obesity isn't some simple, discrete issue. There's no one cause we can pinpoint. There's no one program we can fund to make it go away. Rather, it's an issue that touches on every aspect of how we live and how we work." I have and am struggling with obesity. If there is a way to get kids more informed or want to be outside more, then we should try and find a way to help them. And I've researched this topic and I will be discussing it. Childhood obesity has become an epidemic in the U.S. because kids are now sitting in front of the television or a screen more than they did in the past. Now that I've given you a brief overview, we're going to look at my first topic, the amount of television watched. In an article from Pediatrics magazine titled "The Effects on Television and Metabolic Rate," children in the United States spend on average as much time watching television each year as they do attending school. In that same article in Pediatrics, it was reported that time spent viewing TV correlated positively with children's requests for and the parents purchasing foods influenced by advertisements. Energy balanced equation is the key to understanding childhood obesity. If energy intake or dietary intake exceeds energy output, the kilocalories burned at rest during exercise and as a result of food ingestion, then the extra calories are stored and weight is gained. In an article from the International Journal of Obesity, the risk of being overweight was 4.6 times greater for subjects who watched television for more than 5 hours a day compared to those who watched only 0 to 1 hours a day. It was also found in that same article that there's a statistically significant association between the number of hours spent in front of a television during childhood between the years of 6 and 11 and obesity 6 years later. In that same article from International Journal of Obesity, the rate of children watching television for more than 4 hours per day seems to have increased at the same pace as the rate of overweight and obesity in children. Now that we've talked about the correlation between TV and childhood obesity, let's look at how commercials and television shows influence children. In that article from International Journal of Obesity, it has been widely demonstrated that food shown in programs for children and adults does not see the criteria for healthy nutrition. There are 3 ways that television might lead to obesity in children. One is by displacing time that would otherwise be spent in physical activity. The second would be by promoting eating while viewing, which could then foster both lower quality and higher quantity food intake. And the third is by exposing children to food advertising, which adversely affects their diets. According to the article titled "Associations of Television Content Type and Obesity in Children." According to Andrew Harvey, in an article he wrote for the Health Matrix, 34% of television advertising directed at children and teenagers is for candy and snacks, while the other 29% was for cereal and only 4% was for dairy products. In an article from 2008 from the Journal of Broadcasting and Electronic Media, one study found a strong correlation between the amount of advertising, especially for empty calorie foods, and the proportion of overweight children in 10 countries, including the United States. In 2005, Kraft and McDonald's announced that they would no longer market unhealthy foods to children under the age of 11, and Nickelodeon announced that they would devote a percentage of their advertising to healthier eating and exercising. According to the article from International Journal of Broadcasting and Electronic Media, until about the age of 7, children adopt cognitive processing strategies that center on their immediate sensory environment. Hence, young children are more attentive to salient perceptual cues such as the animation, the lively music, and the auditory changes. Children until the age of 8 or 9 have a hard time processing dialogue or voiceover content, according to the International Journal of Broadcasting and Electronic Media, So advertisers take advantage of this and use it to get kids' attention and wanting whatever they are selling. The most common form of advertisement for fast food or cereal ads for kids included some sort of incentive for buying, like a toy. Now that we've covered how too much television viewing can lead to obesity, let's talk about ways schools and parents can help children with obesity. In an article by Brenda Hargrove titled Physical Activity and Childhood Obesity, Strategies and Solutions for Schools and Parents, curriculum concerns for the obese should include instructions in nutrition, individual and group counseling, exercise classes, and training in eating control techniques. FIA teachers can use a teachable moment to teach the class about individual differences. And according to Brenda Hargrove, studies in the area of childhood obesity identifies the school as the primary remediation force for those students who are already obese, as well as the primary force for prevention of obesity. Programs can be put together by the administrators, the guidance counselors, the nurse, the food service personnel, the classroom teachers, parents, and the FIA teachers. And strategies and solutions for school implementation could include replacing vending machine foods with healthy items. Breakfast and school lunches should not be something found in restaurants, but instead should include vegetables and fruits, and salad bars could also be implemented in schools. And so for my conclusion tonight, we have talked about many things about childhood obesity. We've covered how childhood obesity has become an epidemic and ways we can change it. We've also talked about how much TV children watch and how correlates with childhood obesity and ways schools and parents can help fight it. For the first time in history, owing in part to obesity-related health problems, the current generation of American children has a shorter life expectancy than does their parents' generation, according to the article titled The Role of Parents in Public Views of Strategies to Address Childhood Obesity. Thanks for coming and listening.